This conference will now be recorded.
All right, everyone. So today is Tuesday, August 13th, and as always, everything we'll be talking about is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so first thing on our list this morning is DCPH. So DCPH being a pharma company, we know this thing can move. Obviously, it's moved, jumped up from its close yesterday at the 1995 all the way up. They must have some type of good news come out because they went all the way up to that 48 level. Now, the only thing, though, is this morning, you can see right here at 45.50, it did get a little bit of buy, excuse me, a little bit of buying followed by that selling. Okay, so basically what that tells us is that the stock is going to kind of push up from that 45.50 level, quick move up and then back down, which we saw come back in. But then after that, really haven't seen anything really much beside. I mean, there's a little bit of buying at the levels, just not really anything that's that definitive, especially with something that has this big of a move. Now, the orders are extremely thin, so when we do see 45 with two prints come in there, 44.50, you can see 25,000 shares, which that's definitely an important level for us to be paying attention to. Like I said, we know there's going to be selling when something jumps this high, but it is still getting some new buying coming back in there. We know 45 is going to be a big psychological level, so there's definitely going to be some games being played there, which we can already see being happening since pretty much 8:20 this morning. It's been kind of fluttering up and down around that 45. So really going to want to see something more definitive, a better show of hand before we really get into this thing. But like I said, it definitely does have some new buying coming in. Next thing looking at is JD. So JD up big overnight. Well, I mean, big. It goes at 27.16, pretty substantial jump. But another one where at 29 level has been pretty mixed because we've been getting some, there's definitely new buying. If we look over here, you can see 29.50. We definitely had some really beautiful prints come back in there. So we know that the stock had to pull back from there. But then even 29.25, you can see, coming to that 29, there's definitely selling, but then finished right afterwards with ask print. So once again, it's pretty much, that 29 level is extremely mixed, but we do have buying up at 29.50. So that's something that we want to, obviously pay close attention to. Okay, so that selling at 29 would tell us that we're going to be looking for anywhere between 25 and a 50-cent pullback before we'd come back up towards that buying at 29.50. And then obviously 30 being a psychological level would be a very logical price target from there. Next thing is CVET. So CVET taking a little bit of a hit this morning, but I'm not a big fan of the way that it looks. But if you do look at the selling from this morning, you can see from yesterday, so we can, coming in to that 4, but then 8 o'clock, pretty much has been nothing but selling on the bigger prints since then. And 14.50, excuse me, 15.50. Being a pretty substantial sell prints based off the fact that there's really not many orders out there. Now, the ones that are, you can see 41.50 sitting at 14.80. So we definitely want to see that order get hit coming into that movement towards that downside. But overall, like I said, I mean, there's really not been anything on the bigger print side than selling. So definitely going to be keeping that in mind for it to be underneath 15. If we continue to see that selling, we're going to see this thing break down pretty well. Next one, BE. Both of these are shortable. So BE, another one where I just really haven't seen much. Now we could come back to, it'll be right before 8 o'clock this morning. You can see we did have, those kind of Laker prints come back in right around that 8 level. But I mean, we're obviously way far past that. And then once again, if you look at all the bigger prints that we've seen coming down all the way towards that 6 where we are right now, really have not seen anything bigger but selling. So this is another one that kind of fits into almost exactly what CVET is doing. Remember, if there's no buying, because this much selling would prompt a pull up. But if there's no buying that comes into it, stock's not going to pull up. And we've seen this a lot on these cheaper stocks where it's just selling. We end up seeing them just come back down. So make sure that you add that into your game plan if you're looking to trade once the market opens. And then RKDA. Now, this is going to be on our side list because of the fact that it did take a hit. And, these cheaper stocks, you have to understand, I don't know anything about Arcadia Biosciences. I know we were talking about AMAG earlier this morning, which I'll get to. Obviously, I had a little bit of things to do this morning. But if we come over here and you look at, if we pull up AMAG, I have no idea in the world what the pharmaceutical companies are. So you got to remember something when it comes with the prints with pharmaceuticals is that holding anything overnight and not taking it as a 15 minutes of fame is leaving you very open, because any stock that you should be holding over, you should know something about the company. They say don't sleep with the stocks that you don't know. So you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not sure with RKDA what's coming into there, but as we're coming back down, we can see that we have been getting just a mix of buying and selling. So it hasn't really shown us anything yet. We did have a little bit of buying earlier, but there you could see just not really any substance behind that buying. When the actual volume started to come in this morning, it was all towards that downside. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, but it's definitely on the side list, and it's one of the last things that I will be looking at based off of the list that we already have. Just better things to be looking at this moment. Right, and other than that, let's take a look at our scanners. Let's see if we have anything else that's coming up. So DMPI, not enough volume, and AUI gold, not going to be looking at, and coming into the loser side of things. Now, that pretty much seems like it. So we got a pretty decent list. We got some good moves. We have some good prints going on out there. A few that we're going to have to wait for a little bit better of a show of hand, but other than that, not a bad morning so far at all. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else out there? Nada. All right. All right, so remember, Traders Exchange, let's make sure we get those questions in. Other than that, I will talk to everyone in the chat. Happy trading.